Good day, folks. Hopefully by now you've had an opportunity to review my comments on Application Project 1. Now, Application Project 2 builds on Application Project 1. So you want to incorporate this into one integrated document. The project is worth 24 points, 24% of your grade. It's a lot of work, but you'll really learn from it. There's 4 distinct parts, and the points for each section are identified in each part. It's due no later than 11:59 on January 13th, 2020. Please try to get it in earlier. I'll be reviewing and grading as they're submitted. If you're not sure of something or want to review before submitting, please let me know. PowerPoint format, do the work in Excel. Make sure your Excel is very good. Copy and paste it in. You're telling a story. This is visual communication is part of that. Please feel free to use audio and or video comments to explain things. What skills will this project develop that you will be able to use into the future? Developing planning and organizing skills, developing analytical and questioning skills. You'll build your Excel skills and develop written and oral presentation skills. So those are the skills that you're going to develop by doing this project. It covers everything that we have covered so far. It's based on my comments on your work. It should be incorporated, as I said. You may need to rearrange some of your content to tell the story. Don't just adjust each point. Organize it so it's telling the story. Everything should be integrated. It's, again, about quantitative and qualitative. Keep focus on trends and major items. Same concept. You collect data, organize data, present data. Then you analyze and tie it all together. What's it telling us? How will the project be graded? Well, I'm going to grade it from the same methodology that we did on the first one. Organization and presentation, accuracy, clarity and depth of responses. Do you really understand it? And how do you integrate it? As you have more topics, the integration becomes more and more meaningful. Don't just respond to the questions, but integrate them together. What's the purpose? I talked about the skills, but here's the purpose. You should be able to analyze the income statement, compute and interpret leverage, capital, and debt service ratios, analyze cash flow, and identify key strategies for future growth. So that's the purpose of this. First thing is create a 5-year trend of the revenue, sales growth, showing annual growth and 5-year average growth rate. Use numbers and visualize the data. Review your drivers and then create an analysis to explain why the sales are growing at a product level. What's happening? What's driving them? Then, review the common size income statement and identify a few categories that you believe should be researched. You don't want to start at net income. You're going to use specific lines, okay, that you should research. Once you identified them, explain what happened in detail. The 10K will give you most of the answers you need. You need to be able to see it, interpret it, and prioritize it. Next is to compute the capital ratio, what the capital structure of the firm is in dollars and percent. What's the leverage ratio in each year? What is that trend telling us? Are they getting more leveraged, less leverage? Show the tangible net worth for the past 5 years. Again, comment on what it's telling us. What is the risk associated with the level of tangible net worth that you computed? Compute the weighted average cost of capital for the past 5 years and indicate the 5-year average cost of capital. For the cost of capital, use 15% and explain how you would use this information. Lastly, compute the debt service ratios. Comment on what it is telling us and what it would mean if the company wanted to borrow more money. So this is a look at capital in what it means to us as well as debt service. Part 3, based on what you did in Project 1, discuss liquidity from the perspective of quantity, quality, and timing of liquidity. So revise your project now to visualize that analysis. You have it, but now interpret it. What is it telling us? Is there enough? Is it going to be available timely? And what's the quality of that? Lastly, part 4, the future. It's worth 6 points. Basically, what we're going to do here is you are going to go in and identify 3 strategies the company's planning on implementing to growing revenues. Focus here is on growing revenues, not necessarily increasing profits or reducing expense or being top of the line in service. But what are the strategies they're going to do to move that revenue number? And you're going to find this in the investor presentation. Use the slides, don't reinvent, just copy and paste. And then relate them to how's it going to, is it going to increase the volume? Is it going to increase the rate? And then, if you can, quantify that future impact. So that is the second project. Again,